Coming up on Good Morning Waverly, find out what U.S. Congressman Bruce Braley had to say at his stop at Wartburg.
And we visited one local boutique to talk about this spring's fashion trends.
And see how long last night's snowfall will be sticking around. I'll have your full forecast coming up next on Good Morning Waverly.
Happy Friday and Good Morning Waverly.
Hello and welcome to Good Morning Waverly. I'm Shelby Granath.
And I'm Kelsey Bemis. Thanks for joining us on this snowy morning. We'll start your day here with a look at what we can see outside right now. The current conditions are about 22 degrees. Now, we have had around 5 to 6 inches of accumulation so far that has caused all the area schools, including Waverly, Shell Rock, Janesville, and Denver, to be closed today. So as we continue through the day, we can go ahead and take a look at what we can expect. The high will come about mid-afternoon, 3 p.m. We'll see a high in the upper 20s. Now, we will see a few more inches of accumulation possible throughout the day, 1 to 2 inches there. But tomorrow, we shouldn't see any of that snow for much to hang around. It'll be a high of 26 degrees, high of 29 on Sunday. And Monday, there's a slight chance of snow there as well, about a 50% chance. So not getting rid of that snow just quite yet. It's going to hang around just a little bit longer there.
Okay, thank you, Kelsey.
Yep.
Wartburg had a visit from the Iowa Nice video guy. His name is Scott Seipker, and his video describes what Iowa is really all about, including that Iowa has the 6th lowest unemployment rate and that the computer was invented in Iowa. The YouTube video has over 1 million views. His message while he was at Wartburg was telling everyone to go after their goals, especially in Iowa.
Because of something that we like to call Iowa luck, which is that there's no luck in Iowa, there's just the generosity of Iowans.
He wasn't alone in his visit. Later that day, Bruce Braley came to campus as well. He had a friendly discussion ranging in topics from his shoes to the state of the nation. Braley also talked about the benefits and dangers of technology in today's world. He said he enjoyed the relaxed conversation with the Waverly community.
I hope they learn that I'm not all serious focus on policy issues because Scott is a very funny guy, and I had a great time interacting with him and discussing some of these issues with them.
The Waverly City Council found themselves with a fortunate problem Monday night. Council members learned that about 4 projects are available for funding, but they can only choose to do 2. The projects would be included in the multifamily rental construction funding by the state. Grants could support up to 80% of funding for apartments downtown.
One grieving grandfather wants harsher sentencing for drunk drivers. Lloyd Bigler lost his 5.5-month-old grandson Drake to a drunk driver last July. The driver received a 4-year prison sentence in 3 years of probation 3 weeks ago. In response, Bigler has begun a campaign to strengthen Iowa's drunk driving laws.
Waverly Shell Rock prepares for its upcoming spring play, Many Moons. The WSR High School Drama Department will present the children's story by James Turber next weekend. Showtimes are 7:30 p.m. next Friday and Saturday, and there will be a 2:30 matinee next Sunday.
In celebration of Valentine's Day this month, one man is sharing love with the community. Gary Blonigan is a self-proclaimed Valentine collector with items dating back to the 1800s. He delivered Valentines to women's groups, schools, and retirement homes for 35 years. For the full story, go check out this week's copy of the Waverly Democrat.
It's time to start thinking about the first day of school for some soon-to-be kindergartners. Shell Rock Elementary School's kindergarten registration will be Tuesday, March 5th. Southeast Elementary will be Wednesday, March 6th and Thursday, March 7th. Children have to be 5 years old before September 15th of 2013. We got about 5 to 6 inches of snow last night. See if there's any more coming up in the next week.
Waverly will tell you about all the season's hottest trends.
We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. Now, we have seen around 5 to 6 inches of snow so far this morning. Roads are completely covered on the road from Waterloo. 218 is down to 1-lane traffic there. And we also have Waverly, Shell Rock, Janesville, and Denver are closed today as well. Now, the temperature outside is currently 22 degrees, relative humidity of 92%. There is a slight wind, about 10 miles per hour. Now, let's take a look and see if that will continue throughout the day. We'll see a high of 24 at 9 a.m., see our high of upper 20s at 3 p.m. this afternoon. There is a slight chance for snow to continue throughout the day, 1 to 2 inches possible there. Now that will carry into tonight where there's slight chances of snow there as well. 11 degrees for the high there, winds 8 to 11 miles per hour, so that snow will still be blowing around a little bit. But as we carry into tomorrow, that precipitation should slow down. We'll see a high of 26, wind chill values as low as 0 degrees there. 8 to 11 miles per hour once again there, so that snow might continue to blow. Now as we carry into the rest of the weekend, Sunday we'll see a high of 29. Monday we'll see a high of 33 degrees, about a 50% chance of snow there as well, but that should decrease as we carry into next week. We'll see a high of 32 on Tuesday, a high of 31 on Wednesday. Tuesday there will also be a slight chance of snow then, about 30% there. Wednesday it should start to slow down, however, and we may finally be coming to the end of our long string of snow, so we can only hope.
A few weeks ago, I was kind of hoping we were going to be done with all this winter weather.
I know, with Groundhog's Day, I thought we were heading into spring, but I guess not.
We got dumped on last night.
We definitely did.
So be careful out there on your way to work.
Now, while it feels like anything but spring outside, that does not mean people are not already looking to this year's spring styles.
This week, Kelsey and I stopped by downtown boutique Joe Marco to find out what will be the hottest trends this year. Hey everyone, Kelsey and I are here at Joe Marco Salon and Boutique in downtown Waverly.
We're going to head inside and talk to the owner, Joe, and she's going to tell us about all this season's hottest trends.
Lots of bling. Bling is never going to go out in this store.
And where do you kind of figure out these trends?
Well, you know, we go to market in Chicago. We sometimes go out to New York. So when we're out there, we get to see the trend the year before it comes out. But it's really good to keep up on your trendy magazines, you know, your InStyle magazines, your Vogue, your Glamour, those kind of things will kind of always keep you cutting edge with the styles too.
Do you want to kind of walk us around the store and show us some of the new pieces?
Sure. Well, Miss Me has always been my biggest line in the store. Right now, dark wash is huge and not as much distress. I mean, distress was in. Now it's kind of clean line, darker. And of course, white for summer. Sheer is huge. Anything sheer with a little see-through, that is really big for the summer, and especially for the spring. You want to do a lot of layering. You put a tank top, pop some color underneath that. These colors here are huge. Your teals, your blues, your turquoise, emerald green. This is beautiful. You know, these colors. Green, you're going to really see a lot of greens. And then, as always, this will never, ever, ever go out, is your standard black, little black dress. Because you can do so much. You know, you can pop it with a scarf or necklaces, or you could put red shoes with this, and it would be beautiful.
And a lot of people might not think of black and white for spring, but have you seen a lot of that?
Black and white is huge, huge. I'm actually getting a new jewelry line in that's all black and white too. So that's really, and I love the crisp black and white. It always looks good on everybody.
A lot of magazines, you know, like Vogue and all those are saying that low heels is kind of
low heels.
So is
yes,
that new?
Yes, that is really, really in. So you don't. The high pumps are kind of going down, which is good. Yeah. Good for all of us that go, wow, I couldn't walk in those. I got to show you something really, really cool that has been on American Idol. These are American Idol boots.
I saw those right when we walked in.
So that's what one of the singers on American Idol was wearing these, and these are phenomenal. We at Joe Marco believe in big. We believe in big and chunky. You can get several jewelry lines. Jewelry is everywhere, but here we like to make a statement jewelry, and Cleopatra jewelry, the big, huge necklaces that are very thick and stuff. I'm having a hard time with the floral prints, and that, you know, I call it that little hippie style, but it's very, very in. It is, and if you have a floral printed dress and you throw a sparkle cowboy boot on with it, it's very, very cute. It's just, if you're used to wearing that kind of pattern, it's gonna take somebody out of their box of what they're normally used to. But those kind of styles I call trends, and those will come in and they will go out. They will not last.
This store is open Tuesday through Saturday. And we also, when we were there, she said that new jewelry line should have been either yesterday or today. Okay. So everyone can check out that as well. And the little boy in the video was getting something for his mom then too. Right. And he was very excited with the trends, so she should be very stylish.
Exactly. It was really interesting to find out that she finds out what the trends are going to be a year before. Mm-hmm. So she had all these outfits picked out and all of her stock picked out last year.
And she said the trends tend to hit Waverly, you know, a year later than we see them on the coast and things. So it works out. I guess she has all that people around here would need. So
it was really interesting. They only keep about 4 pieces of each item, just so that she can stay new and unique, and so that was really interesting. So if you see something there that you like, you have to get it right away. That
was her advice, that if there's something you like, don't wait, because it might be gone and it will never come back. So she definitely had a lot of things I hadn't seen before, so that's exciting there. So
remember to go and check it out. That's Joe Marco in downtown Waverly.
And you can also find out the trends on her Facebook page as well, Joe Marco Boutique and Salon. Now, coming up after the break, we'll discuss one local man who is set to appear on the nationwide show Bizarre Foods.
Plus, I'll be joined by WSR wrestling coach Mark Kiss to hear his reaction to the International Olympic Committee's decision to cut wrestling from the Olympic Games. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. The time is currently 6:45. One local citizen will be featured on a national show this Monday. Known for his Swabian Hall pork, Carl Blake was filmed for the show Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern last summer.
While Mr. Blake was unable to join us in the studio today due to weather, there will be a showing of his episode at the GOAT on Monday evening. The show begins at 8 p.m. and the GOAT has several TVs for all who wish to watch. Now, one interesting thing about that is he actually said it was supposed to premiere in December, but they decided that his was the most entertaining footage they received all year, so they wanted to put it for their 2013 premiere. So
that's great, and check out our Facebook page because we're planning on doing a short story about him in this show. So.
Yep, and once again, 8 p.m. on Monday for all who would like to watch that.
And now with all this snow we have now, some people might be stuck in their houses today. But
Take a look at this man from Massachusetts who decided to build a temporary house from some snow.
All done by hand. Caveman method.
Call it a man cave or call it club ice. Either way, you can certainly call it big and cold.
As long as the natural snow keeps coming, we'll be in business.
Worcester's Michael Kozlowski has built a number of igloos each winter, only using shovels, and this, his 4th, is his best yet.
7 HD, Pierce 2 workers are stuck.
It has a TV, a couch, and a lamp that doubles as a hand warmer.
And it really brightens up the room. And it's really, really hot. So if you put your hand right there for a couple seconds, you'll warm right up.
The key, he says, is safety in the form of a 4x4 holding up an umbrella of wood 12 feet high.
This way, we ensure no collapses. It's always going to be safe. And it's even easier to maintain because you never need snow for the top half.
Michael started in November by mixing ice rink snow with man-made snow he makes in his family's backyard. Inside the igloo, you can see layers, just like an iceberg.
And then as you go up, this is from December, that's from January.
So when winter's bleakness gets you down, Michael says don't run from it, embrace it.
People may think it's crazy, but you know, it's a good workout. You're doing some creative, and when you're older, it's some, you know, you'll remember something cool you did while you're young.
That's really some fascinating footage there. How he got the idea to come up with that. I mean, I guess as a kid you want to build forts, but I've never thought of electricity inside those forts.
When we were home for Christmas break, my brother built a little fort, but it was nothing as impressive as that.
Yeah, and I know I usually get bored by, you know, by the time we would ever be able to fit that in there. So.
I know. Coming up next on Good Morning Waverly.
Iowa's a hotbed. Iowa's where people come to train for the Olympic Games.
Find out how the community is reacting to the IOC's decision and how it will affect high school wrestlers. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. The time is currently 6:50. Last week, the International Olympic Committee made a decision that rocked the whole world, especially in Iowa.
Every state is known for something. Texas, football. Minnesota, hockey. And Iowa, wrestling. So needless to say, last week Iowa did not react well to the International Olympic Committee's decision to cut wrestling from the 2020 Olympic Games.
I felt like I got kicked in the gut, and I thought it was a joke. I really did. I was astounded.
This left many people questioning the decision, especially because wrestling can be traced back to the first Olympic Games in 1896. The cut of wrestling hit home for a lot of people, especially in Iowa, the home of the 2012 Olympic trials.
Last April, Iowa City hosted the Olympic trial, and it was the most successful Olympic trials in wrestling in the sport since we've started because of the support. It was a full house in Carver Hawkeye.
This decision not only affects current wrestlers training for the Olympics, but also young wrestlers dreaming about making the Olympics.
And now that they've taken that away, it's just kind of like, you know, sorry kid, you know, this is the line, this is it, you know, you got college and that's it. And for some people, that's just like a kind of a big shocker.
They want a shot at trying to make an Olympic team and compete in Olympic Games. And right now, that's really obviously knocked them off the track right now, and we got to get that turned around.
What are these kids going to look forward to? Like, they need a reason to wrestle, you know? And the Olympics is always in the back of your mind when you're young, when you're a wrestler. But you take that from them, it's like, it kind of takes out the point.
Me now is WSR wrestling coach Mark Kiss. Thanks for making it through the snow and joining us today. Now, when you heard the decision, what was your reaction?
At first I didn't really believe it. I guess, you know, I was surprised. Wrestling was one of the initial sports of the Olympics, and so when I first heard that, I didn't think, you know, they could do that. And so I read into it a little bit, read some articles, and kind of figured out this is for real. And you know, I was kind of upset about it and sad about it because I think it'll have an effect all the way down through wrestling.
Mm-hmm. You talked about the effect. What is the significance, especially here in Iowa?
Well, wrestling's huge in Iowa. I mean, the Olympics is wrestling's professional sport, or professional league, I guess. Football players have the NFL, basketball players have the NBA, you know, wrestlers have the Olympics. And so you take that top goal away from the sport, I think a lot of kids might lose interest, or at least not dedicate themselves as much as they used to.
Okay, now, should wrestling have even been one of the sports considered to be cut?
Well, you're talking to a wrestling coach, so no. You know, other people might have different opinions, but, you know, I'd obviously like to see it stay. And like I said, it was one of the original sports of the Olympics. You know, that's what the Olympics was. And so to change it so drastically, I guess it's kind of an injustice to the sport.
How does this affect young wrestlers like the ones you coach?
Well, like I said, I mean, growing up, wrestlers want to be Olympic champs. They don't have a professional league to go to. You know, they grow up dreaming of winning an NCAA title and then going to the Olympics. So when you take that goal away or tell them they can't do it anymore, it's not an option, you know, I think a lot of them will lose interest and say, well, the Olympics isn't there, why would I put in all that time and that effort when I can't even go to the Olympics and wrestle in it?
When I was talking to Kenny Anderson, he mentioned something about, you know, parents, you know, what would the point of even signing their kids up for wrestling be? Would you agree with that?
No. I mean, I think wrestling will still teach what it teaches now. I mean, all the values that you get from wrestling, hard work, persistence, you know, all those things. I can go on and on, but does it hurt? Yeah. And I think a lot of kids might not wrestle because of it. But, you know, in my opinion, I think they still should.
Okay. Now, last weekend at the state tournament, was there a lot of talk about it, and what did some other coaches have to say?
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about it because that announcement came out right before the state wrestling tournament. And so you had all the wrestling crazies in the state, you know, in Des Moines at the state tournament. That was a big topic. I mean, it was talked about a lot. I know Dan Gable, Tom Brands, and Doug Schwab were there. You know, starting to kind of campaign to get the Olympics back. You know, I don't know exactly what their plan is, but they were there and they talked about it, and they talked about the new website to you know, sign a petition and all that stuff. So it was definitely talked about down there.
Now, what would you tell a young wrestler who had been dreaming about the Olympics and now can't?
I guess I don't know what you tell them. I mean, just keep working, you know, to achieve your goals, whether that be to win a state title in high school, to win a NCAA title in college, you know, to go to the World Championships. They'll still have those. International tournaments all over the world, you know, World Cup, things like that. And, you know, maybe it will be back in the Olympics. It's not actually cut until 2020, and I think the IOC's decision right now, it was more of a proposal, suggestion. I think the official decision is later in the summer. So, you know, if they catch enough grief, I guess, maybe it might be reversed. So just keep training.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. Now, if you want to help save Olympic wrestling, you can go to www.letskeepwrestling.com and join the nearly 20,000 people who have already signed the petition. Coming up next on Good Morning Waverly, we'll tell you what our weekend movie picks are.
It's everything that I was afraid of.
If you get the chance to shovel out from the snow this weekend, you might want to check out this movie.
It's called Safe Haven and stars Josh Duhamel and Julianne Hough.
The story is about a young woman who moves to a new place but is followed by her past.
Or if you feel like watching something different this weekend, instead you can check out the cartoon Escape from Planet Earth.
It's about an astronaut who finds himself in trouble when he responds to a message from a dangerous alien planet. Now, I've seen Safe Haven, and it's a really good movie. I would recommend it.
All right. Well, right before we leave, let's take a final look at weather. It is currently still snowing outside. We have about 1 to 2 inches of snow accumulation to expect today. Now, there is a winter storm weather warning issued through noon today, so we will continue to see a few more snow showers. Now, before you go, we'll give you one final story to kind of brighten up your day.
I guess we don't have time for that, but thanks for joining us, and we will be gone for 2 weeks, but we will be back after that.
And make sure to check out our news Monday night and our sports night on Tuesday evening. Have a good day, Waverly.